This is Maya. Let's get into it. Your health system rolled out an ambient AI scribe across 50 outpatient clinics. The tool listens to patient-doctor exams, transcribes conversational audio, and synthesizes structured clinical SOAP notes directly into your electronic health record. Physicians love it because it saves 2 hours of charting every evening. The generated notes read fluently, and adoption climbs past 90%. Then, a routine clinical quality audit reveals a dangerous pattern. In complex, multi-condition visits, the AI scribe consistently omits critical, pertinent negative findings. The patient explicitly stated during the physical exam that they had no chest pain, no shortness of breath, and no radiating arm numbness. The generated clinical note left the review of systems completely blank for those fields. Welcome to Part 3 of High-Stakes AI, HealthTech and Clinical Operations. Today, we are breaking down the architecture behind the Ambient Scribe Omission Trap. In clinical AI benchmark evaluations, over 80% of severe medical errors are not hallucinations. They are errors of omission. The model does not invent false clinical data. It simply drops critical negative findings. Here is why standard ambient documentation pipelines break down. First, attention sinks in long audio transcripts. A 20-minute clinical visit produces thousands of conversational tokens. In long context windows, foundational models suffer from attention degradation across the middle third of the transcript. They prioritize the initial chief complaint and the final prescription, while dropping intermediate negative findings. Second, semantic bias against negatives. Foundational models are trained to prioritize active information density. In clinical medicine, a pertinent negative like denies shortness of breath carries equal diagnostic weight to an active symptom. General language models treat negative statements as absence of data rather than vital clinical facts, discarding them during summarization. Third, automation bias and review fatigue. Because the generated note reads naturally and contains 0 grammatical errors, busy clinicians scan the summary quickly and sign off without noticing what was left out. Telling an ambient scribe to be exhaustive in a system prompt cannot solve transformer attention dynamics. Single-pass generation forces the model to balance narrative formatting and entity extraction simultaneously, leading to silent data loss. To deploy ambient clinical scribes safely, engineering teams must decouple entity extraction from narrative synthesis outside the model layer. First, dual-pass entity extraction. Separate the pipeline into 2 parallel engines. An explicit entity extraction agent dedicated solely to identifying pertinent positives and negatives, and a structural synthesis agent handling narrative SOAP formatting. Second, deterministic timeline reconciliation gates. Before any note is committed to the EHR, the system must execute a deterministic reconciliation pass, verifying every extracted clinical entity directly against the raw audio timestamp coordinates. Third, execution circuit breakers. If an explicit negative statement in the transcript is missing from the synthesized draft, the gateway must flag the discrepancy, alert the clinician, and prevent silent, unverified commits. At Claire by the Algorithm, we engineer stateful control towers that eliminate omission failures, ensuring dual-pass verification and zero-drop clinical governance. Never let ungoverned ambient AI compromise clinical records. Govern your enterprise AI at letsaskclaire.com. That wraps high-stakes AI for health tech. Next week, we take on fintech. I am Maya. Thanks for listening.